Okay, everybody, so we are back on an off-leash decompression walk. 3 dogs with me on this walk. So the black and white one and the yellow is Allie. She is my 6-year-old pointer whippet mixy thing, best guess. The schnauzer here is Thad. He's also 6 years old. He's actually my parents' dog. And this is Adelaide, the border collie. She is my newest addition. She's about 2.5. So the big difference between an on-leash, on long line, and off-leash decompression walk is obviously that leash attachment to you. But the difference in what it gives to your dogs is the freedom. So if you can do an off-leash decompression walk, it really is ideal because as you can see, these guys really can go wherever they want. They can move at their own pace. Thad's a little bit slower than the girls. He's a little smaller. He's not quite as active. You can see the girls are already out of sight. We've been here for less than 2 minutes. They're already in the water, already running around. These 2 girls are dogs that I could not run at their full speed to save my life. When they do run with me, they are barely even moving faster than a walk. Because I am not the most athletic person, but these dogs are extremely athletic. So this really allows them to cut loose and move the way that they're supposed to move and the way that they need to move in order to not drive me crazy at my house. Adelaide especially basically never stops moving when we're out here. So it's really nice that she has that opportunity to really cut loose and do what she needs to do and what she's built to do. You know, she's a border collie. She's made to run. So is Allie. They're made to move and go. Most of our dogs are, in fact, made to run and move at a pace that we really just can't. So this really just is about allowing them to be themselves and be a dog. I do reward, I have treats on me, so if they come check in with me, I will reward them, but I'm really not going to call them back to me all that often, if at all. Most of the time I will, if, there's something dangerous about to happen, a dog that clearly does not want to interact with them, or if they've fallen behind. Like Thad tends to get stuck on a smell and fall behind. So sometimes I'll kind of call him to hurry up and catch up with us. For the most part, the dogs choose to hang around me. They know that, I have something good for them. But they just don't really want to go all that far. You can see Adelaide will go ahead. She'll come make sure we're still here, and then she'll go back to what she was doing. She knows that I'm not going to just make her stop having fun every time she comes into me. And most of my hike view is this. Most of my decompression walk view is no dogs in front of me, just kind of hearing them crash around in the woods and in the water, and just knowing that they're having a really good time together and just getting to be dogs. That was pretty. Hi. What do you think? And so we're at Walnut Creek right now, which is a big park, and a good portion of it is off-leash hiking trails. And this is the kind of decompression walk I like to do, on the trail, in nature. It's really what it should be. But the big difference between this kind of a dog park and a dog park like even Zilker, but your fenced in neighborhood dog parks, it's pretty obviously, this is going to allow them more free movement. There's more space than you would get in a fenced in dog park in a neighborhood or an apartment complex. It's also a lot more realistically nature. It's not a manicured lawn. It's woods, it's forest, it's got water. It's a good time for everybody. There's also the fact that, there's a lot less dogs. There are dogs here. We saw quite a few leaving and coming in as we entered the park, but there are so many trail options that you don't really run into all that many as you're walking around, which means that our dogs don't feel pressured into a social situation. They get to choose if they want to interact with the other dogs or if they just want to move on with their day. And, there's no clustering. So there's less fighting. You will find, even in parks like this, areas where owners like to stand, hang out, chit-chat, and cluster. And that tends to be when we see the dog's arousal levels really, really spike, and where we tend to see altercations happen is when owners cluster. So I always make a habit of just keeping moving. I'll maybe stand still for a couple of minutes so the dogs can get a drink, play in the water, check out all the other dogs, but we don't linger for very long because I don't want to create any altercations. And if there are any, I don't want my dogs to be involved in them, or the dogs that I'm responsible for to be involved in them. Dad, come on, bud, let's go. Good man. Good job. So that's really the main difference. I mean, a fenced-in dog park really is just, it's a lot like your backyard, just moved a little bit bigger and with a lot more dogs in it. It's not to say that it can't be good. I'm really not a fan of them in general outside of off-leash hiking trails like this where you really keep moving. And we're fortunate that Austin has a few. The two main ones are this one, Walnut Creek, and there's also one called Turkey Creek out at Emma Long Metropolitan Park. That one's about a 3-mile loop. This one's got so many options and so many different trails that I don't really know how long you could hike for. The loop we usually do is about 2 miles. Takes us about an hour, and it's a nice good hike. I will say I have no idea how far these guys actually go, especially Adelaide. I need to put a tracker on her at some point, but they have a really good time, and it's just about them being able to be dogs and get out and move freely the way that they're supposed to. You'll notice I've left my kids' harnesses on, and that's largely just because I don't feel like carrying them around, but these are harnesses that are not going to restrict their movement. They're the Freedom harnesses, so they're not sitting straight across their shoulder blades. They have free range of movement, and especially since there's nothing attached to them, nothing's going to stop them from moving the way that they should move. Now, if you use a harness like an Easy Walk or something like that that restricts the way that they move, I highly recommend taking it off for these kinds of walks. And honestly, in general, I recommend finding a better fitting harness that does not restrict your dog's movement. It's just not healthy for them to have their movement restricted in too much of a way. You can tell these guys are having a good time, getting to sniff. I apologize if my camera work is shaky. We're missing one, but that's okay. Oh, there she is. And I don't really tend to fret too much about where they are. They'll figure it out and come back. Largely, especially with these two girls, I'm working with them on off-leash for a long time, especially Allie. But so this is good for these guys in a different way than it's good for Oliver, who we talked about earlier. He's got the behavior problems, the anxiety issues. These three are not that. Allie is a fearful dog. She's got an odd little history and came to me extremely fearful. Wouldn't interact with me for about the first 4 months she was in my house. And we've had her for over 5 years now, so that's obviously come a long way. But these walks really help her because she just loves being outside. She loves running and moving and being in nature. And so this just really gives her something that her soul needs. And helps her exercise and be happy, because leash walks are scary for her. She's still got a lot of fear issues around the outside world, new people. So leash walks just make her feel really pressured and can be really, really scary for her. And she doesn't have her exit route of running away. Whereas out here, if we come across something or someone that scares her, she just runs away. She just goes off the trail into the woods and comes back out when she's ready. And surprising the number of people she'll actually say hi to out here. Like that. She'll just go up there like that. Wrong way, Allie. For Adelaide, it's good because she's a nearly 3-year-old border collie who never stops moving. So this just really gives her a level of exercise that I just can't in any other way. I'm just never going to be able to move fast enough to do this for her. And so it makes my home life a lot more peaceful with her. For Thad, it's actually different. So Thad is also about 6 years old, but he lives in a pretty busy household. He lives with my parents and my sister, and my sister's 2 kids, who are both very young. and 2 cats as well. So it's a very busy, very active, kind of crazy house. And this really gives him the opportunity to get away from all the craziness and just get the chance to be a dog and do his own thing and make his own choices. And not to say, you know, that he's got a horrible life. He's got the good life at my parents' house, but it is just a little hectic. This gives him a chance to kind of get away from that hectic life and get a chance to just be a dog without any of that pressure of little kids or cats or anything like that. So that's an off-leash decompression walk. It's really nice. We really enjoy it. It's super fun. And again, like I said earlier, if you want to do this, but you're really not sure if your dog's trustworthy off-leash, give us a call and we can help you get there with them. And you can always start with decompression walks on a long line if you're not sure. That's how Sad and I started. We started on a long line and kind of worked up our trust in our relationship to where I felt that I could trust him off-leash. And I wouldn't do this with many dogs. I need to have a solid relationship with them before I let the leash go. But he's kind of gotten there, and it helps that he's family, but it's actually improved our relationship a lot too. He used to not like me very much. I used to be kind of his least favorite person, and getting to explore the world together and do it in a way that's very low stress for him and very low pressure has helped him become a lot more trusting of me, and it's helped us really build a strong, good relationship. So there's also that aspect of these. Like, not only is it good for your dog's general health and well-being, but it's good for your relationship with them as well. It's just pretty out here. It's nice. And hopefully this water lasts through the summer. Yeah? Okay, well, if you have questions about decompression walks or about anything really, always feel free to contact us. Our email is info@enlightenedhounds.com, or you can always call us 512-710-6064. You can also text that phone number. It reaches both myself and Lydia if it's texted. Or you can email us individually, which is just our names, Meggan or Lydia @enlightenedhounds.com, if you have questions for us specifically. Thanks for joining us for our first very long vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed watching these guys run around. And we'll talk to you soon. Just wanted to show you guys real quick the end result of a decompression walk. Hi, are you tired? It's a good man.